Alright, what's up guys? We got another video over here. This video is gonna be showing you guys the parts that come with the GR Corolla plug-and play kit. We're gonna do like a little unboxing of everything that comes with it, all the hardware and accessories and whatnot that you get with your kit. What I have here is a level 1 kit. So I have the level 1 amplifier with the hybrid speaker option. I'm just gonna use this kit here as an example. Because all of the accessories and hardware is basically going to be the same between level 1, 2, and 3, and it'll also be the same whether it's hybrid or maximal. So we're going to go through all these parts here, and then we'll give you guys a breakdown and unboxing of everything that you get in your kit. First, we have our harnesses here. So we're going to have two bags. One bag is going to have all of our power and ground and our tweeter extension harnesses. So you can pop this guy open and pull these out here. So in this bag, you have your tweeter extension harness. So this is going to plug into the JBL T harness and then run up to your tweeters in the A pillar and plug your tweeters in there. And they are labeled left and right, so you know which way they go. And the plugs are male on one end and female on the other end. So it's only going to match up one way, so you don't got to worry about plugging the wrong side in the wrong way. We have our power cable. Our power cable is going to have our fuse holder and our mounting plate already put together. Fuse is already installed in the fuse holder. We do have a ring terminal already terminated on the wire. And then on the opposite end, we have our wire ferrule, and then we do have it labeled 12 volt. So you know that's for your power once you get it down to your amp. This fuse holder mounting plate will bolt to a bracket that's by the battery. There's already a hole existing there, so this will bolt in. And then in the amplifier, we have the hardware that you're going to use to bolt that in. So you're not going to have to drill anything or make any holes. Everything will just bolt right in. And then we also have our ground cable in there. So again, terminated with a ring terminal. And then our wire ferrule and label ground, so you know that's for your ground. In the second bag, this is going to be your JBL T harness. So depending on what level you have, this is what's going to be different. This is the level 1 harness. The level 2 and 3 is going to be different because of the different channels and different layout of those systems. So we have our JBL plugs here. So plug into the factory harness, plug into the JBL amplifier, and then we have our plugs that plug into the Audison amplifier. There is this guy here. On the Audison amp, there's two sections that use the same style plug. So we do have it labeled speaker in, so you know which port it goes into, so you can't mix up which one is what. And then these are your tweeter output wires. They are labeled left and right. And again, they'll only match up one way with your extension harness, so you can't mix that up. So these are the extension harnesses, T harnesses that come with that. From there, you have this little box. So this is that extra part that we're including in this system for you guys. This is that DRC AC knob. This is basically the knob itself. You'll see this in the install video. In this box, we have the cable for it. And then you also have some mounting screws, some double stick tape, some brackets. And then there are two different mounting options for it. So there's this kind of top mount type of bracket that locks onto this. This is what I used in the install video. Or if you feel like it and you want to make a bigger hole so you can flush mount this guy in so it's a little bit more flush, you can use this flush cup for that. So that's everything included in that knob box. Put all that back in there. And then moving on, we have our amp plate. This is our HDPE plate that's going to mount under the seat. We have all of our T-nuts on here for amp to bolt in. And then we have one more here where the plate bolts to the JBL amplifier. And also in the amplifier box, all of the hardware is included for that. So move that guy there. And then let's get into the amp box. Let me just move some of this on the side here really quick. Okay, so we open up this guy here. First thing you're going to see is this download area information with a QR code. Basically, this QR code is so that you can download the software for the amplifier, download any firmware updates. Basically, you'll need that if you are going to do new tune files, or for some reason we have changes to the configuration and we want you to plug into a computer, which Won't be necessary because this comes pre-programmed for the GR Corolla and for your speaker options. But in the event that you do need the software, that's what you would use to get that. From there, we have this little booklet. This is basically warranty information. It has your warranty card, serial number, all of that info in there. So you want to hang on to that guy. And then, of course, we have our amplifier in here. And then we have this little black box. When we open up this little black box, we're going to have a bunch of little hardware and whatnot in here. So first thing, we got some zip ties. So you can tap your wires nice and neat. We also have a little flathead screwdriver. So if you've already watched the install video, you saw me use something like this a lot to pop clips or just get a little bit of leverage on some panels so you can get your fingers underneath to pop them up. Not everybody has something like this. If you're a car guy or a mechanic, you probably got a million of these, but not everybody does. So we figured, well, just throw some of these in there for you guys. We also have our bag with hardware. In this bag, you're going to have your two 10mm bolts. That's going to be for the fuse holder bracket and the amplifier plate. So you can bolt those guys down, two 10mm bolts and two washers for that. We also have 4 screws. Those machine screws are going to be to secure the amplifier to the amp plate. Those are in here. We also have an Allen wrench. That's going to be for the power and ground terminals on the amplifier. So you can screw down your wire to that. And then we also included a little pad of sandpaper because we do recommend that you sand the area where the ground is going to go. So instead of having you go to the hardware store to buy sandpaper and all you really need is a little piece, we just threw a nice sandpaper pad in there for you guys to make it easier. So that is all of the hardware. From here, we have some other harnesses that are basically going to be for system expansion. So right now, this is the level 1 kit. So the level 1 kit, it does not come with a subwoofer, but you have the option to add one on. So with that said, you would either be using a second amplifier or a powered amplifier. Either way, you're going to need RCA outputs. You're going to need audio signal to feed into that second amp or powered sub. So that's where this harness comes into play. This will allow you to add that audio signal. You also have a smaller harness here. This guy is going to give you your remote turn on output. So when you do your second amp or you do your powered sub, you will need a signal to turn the amplifier on. That's going to come out of the DSP. That's going to be with this harness here. And then we also have another big harness with RCA plugs. This is the low-level input plug. So because we designed this system to work with basically anything, whether it's an aftermarket head unit or a factory head unit, you're going to be able to take this system, and if you decide down the road that, hey, I want to buy one of your head unit upgrade kits for the GR Corolla, we can sell you a head unit kit, and then we can get you the different tune file, and then you'll be able to use this, use the aftermarket head unit, plug the RCAs into this guy, plug in your amplifier, load up the new tune, and then you'll have an even better performing system than what you did with the JBL system, only because you're still slightly limited with the JBL system. An aftermarket head unit is just always going to be a better option. So you do have that flexibility with our system. You can do an aftermarket head unit and not have to change a bunch of things around. So that is included. And then the USB cable. So if you want to do any updates, if you want to do firmware updates, make adjustments to the software, whatnot, if we send you any tune files, basically that's what this guy is going to be for here. So that is everything included in the amplifier. That is all of the hardware, all of your little accessories. And from here, we will take a look at the speaker kit. So let's just pop this on the side. So we have our rear kit and our front kit here. Again, if you didn't already notice or realize, regardless of if you do the hybrid or the Maximo front kit, your rear speakers are always going to be Maximos. We don't do hybrids in the rear. It's just not worth the extra money to do hybrids in the rear doors. Just because of the position of the doors and whatnot, it's not super beneficial for that big drastic increase in price. So we do Maximos in the rear no matter what kit you get. So with these kits, we'll start with the front. So what you get, number one, is you're going to get 4 dampening pads. Unless you did a complete dampening kit, we do sell a pre-cut kit for all 4 doors. So if you did that kit, then you're not going to get these guys. But if you didn't do the kit, this will be included in there. A lot of times we just throw them in anyway. But Basically, what these are designed for is when you remove your factory speaker, before you install the new speaker, you're going to put this in the hole where the speaker was, and this is going to stick to the inside of the door. And basically, what that does is that helps absorb some of the energy coming out of the back of the speaker. This is going to help absorb some of that. It's going to help eliminate a little bit of resonance and rattle on the door. It's just going to give you a little bit better sound without having to do a bunch of sound dampening. So this is just something a little extra that helps. The sound dampening material is a little different than maybe what you're used to. It's a 3-layer material, so it's got foam on the top, it's got the typical butyl rubber, and then it's got aluminum and adhesive. So this foam is going to help absorb a lot of that energy, which is really what you want when it comes to sound dampening and helping get rid of resonance and whatnot. So we include 4 of these in there, 2 for the front doors, 2 for the rear doors. And then now let's take a look at the speakers themselves. So pop this guy open. Ooh, all right. So from here, we have our hybrid 3-way kit. So with the hybrid 3-way kit, we got our 6.5s, our mid-ranges, and our tweeters. And then we have some accessories as well. So first thing you're gonna see are these foam pads. So these foam pads, basically what they're for is once you take your speakers and you install them, and you're going to plug this connector into the factory connector, you have a little bit of loose end with a plastic plug. And we don't want that flapping around in the door or the dash and rattling against the door panel or the metal. So once you plug it in, you're going to take these foam pads, it's adhesive on the back. So you peel off the backing, and then you're basically just going to wrap this around these connectors. And then that's just going to help stop that plastic from rattling around in there. It's going to insulate it. And just going to give you a little bit better install, better performance. Just the little things. We do a lot of little things to make your install a little bit cleaner. So with the 6.5s, you do have your front gasket already installed. You do have your wires, everything ready to go. Your rear gasket is already installed as well. Everything is soldered. So no connectors. You don't have to worry about anything coming loose on the back end of the speaker or water or anything getting to it to corrode it. So we do have a nice connection back there. We do tech flex our cable, and then we got a nice connector that plugs into the factory connector. And this front gasket is gonna help take that gap from the door panel to the speaker and help seal that up so that all of the energy from this speaker comes straight through the door rather than into the door and start bleeding into the panel, which also creates some resonance and vibration and whatnot. So again, just a lot of little things to help give you a little bit more premium install when it comes to your speaker kit. The other accessories we have are going to be these 2 plugs here. These are your tweeter jumper plugs. So when you remove all of your speakers, when you remove that factory tweeter plug, you're not going to technically use it anymore, but we do need to plug something back into it in order to complete that circuit, because what happens is from the JBL amplifier, it sends power up to the tweeter, and when you plug the factory tweeter in, it completes that circuit and sends power back into our door. So when that tweeter is unplugged, it basically opens up that circuit. We don't get power to our door. So we have these jumper plugs that you'll plug back in. That'll help complete that circuit to send power to our door. So these guys here, you'll need those to plug those in. And then we also have 2 metal brackets in here, these little clips. And what these are going to do is that's going to secure the tweeter in the A-pillar. And you'll see that in the install video. I won't really go into explaining that. Take a look at the install video and you'll see that there. Our mid-ranges already mounted on our mount. So this is our acrylic mount. Same thing here, Tech Flex. We have our connectors. Everything is ready to just drop right in. And then our tweeters are here. Same deal, Tech Flex. This connector is not the Toyota connector. This is the same connector that mates up to our tweeter extension harness. So you will see that. That'll plug in there. One thing to note, with the tweeters on the hybrid kit, leave these grills on when you put it into the A-pillar. If you have the Maximal kit, it will not come with the grill. You don't use the grill. For the mid-range on the hybrid kit, we want to take off this grill, and it's basically just a little bit of magnet that holds it on there. So we want to take off this grill when we install it. We just don't want one grill plus the factory grill. It's just going to cut down on the amount of output that you get. So we get rid of this grill. It's not needed because it's going to be protected by the factory grill. It's also going to install a lot nicer. So we'll put those guys on there. We do use nylon locking nuts when we secure this mid-range to our mount. So this is never going to back out. So if you have, some guys have a little bit more solid mounts and whatnot in their GRs, a little bit more vibration. So this is going to help get rid of the possibility of the nuts rattling loose and then your speaker flapping around in your dash. So we want to make sure that guy is secure for as long as you have these speakers installed. So that is your front kit with all of your accessories. These foam pads are enough to do the front and the rears, so you have everything you need for your rear kit here. And then we'll take a look at the rear kit. So rear kit is basically straightforward. We just have our maximal 6.5-inch coaxials. So same like the front mid bases. We have everything soldered. We have our Tech Flex and our connector. Gaskets already installed front and back. Don't be alarmed if you get your kit and the gasket looks a little flat. These guys, once they get exposed to more air, they're going to fluff back up. And then when you do your install, it'll fit in nice. So don't worry about it being a little smashed. They'll pump back up in a minute or two. That's basically your rear speaker kit. That's all of your speakers. The only thing left from here is the subwoofers. So if you did a level 2 or a level 3 kit, then you will have subwoofer included with that. So we will show you what that's going to be like. We will take a look at that here. So we have our subwoofer, and then it's going to come with a little white box. So this will come in a separate box from the rest of the kit. We just can't fit it all in one box. So you'll unbox this guy out. You'll have your subwoofer and enclosure, and you're going to have a little white box. This little white box right here has the hardware and the legs. So if you want to downfire this enclosure, then you have the screws for it, and then you have the legs to screw on. And the way that works is there's 4 plastic caps on the corners. These guys pop out. Line up your legs, and you screw them down. That'll give you the ability to downfire the enclosure. So this is the 8-inch enclosure. If you had the 10, it's going to look exactly the same except being slightly bigger, but it's going to work identical to this. What we also have here on the side, so we have your traditional push terminals, and you also got this little white Molex plug here in the middle. So we're not using these traditional push terminals. So we're going to use this Molex plug. So you're going to pop this guy out. This is just a jumper that you would use if you're using these, which we are not. So we're not going to use this jumper. Instead, when you get your kit, again with the level 2 and level 3, you're going to have a longer wire that's going to be for your subwoofer. So you're going to run this to the rear of the car with your power and ground. And then this Molex connector here is just going to plug right into that guy. It's just going to give you, that's it. So this is just going to make it a lot easier if you ever want to remove your enclosure. Instead of having wire that goes into these push terminals, which means you have like bare-ended wire, you don't really want to take them out and just leave that bare wire flapping around because you can damage the amplifier if the two wires touch each other. So by having this Molex connector, it just makes it super easy to take in and out. You never have to worry about bare wire doing anything weird, shorting anything out. So that's basically everything you would need for your subwoofer. Again, these guys can be installed however you want. If you don't want to put the legs on and you just want to lay this in your trunk, you're fine to do that. You can stand it up, you can move it in the corner, you can do whatever you want. You do have a nice little Audison stitched logo on the top, so if you do downfire it and you shove it off into the corner, it's kind of nice. You also have that ability if you want to cut the foam. You can cut your foam out under the floor, and then this guy will fit in there under the floor and be completely out of the way. So you do have a lot of options with the subwoofer as far as how you want to install that and what you can do with that guy there. Aside from that, that is basically everything you get in your kit. Again, we did a level 1 kit just to show you as an example with the hybrid speakers, but no matter if you did a level 2 or level 3, all of the hardware would be the same. Only differences would be your harness, and if you did an 8-inch or a 10-inch subwoofer, it's really going to be the difference there. So that is a complete breakdown on the entire kit. If you need more installation instructions, you can check out our install video. But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, you guys can hit us a message on Instagram for now. We're working on our website, but catch this Instagram, send us a DM there if you got any other questions or you wanted to reach out for any other reasons, hit us up there. And other than that, yeah, thanks for watching.